Yu-Gi-Oh! Is crazy right now. There are so many strategies that can operate under a budget. I even made a video about some of the top competitive budget decks you should be looking at, so make sure you click the thing after you watch this video. I even made a competitive Shadow Ball deck profile that was completely budget. I mean, if you take away the fact that I forgot to give you a budget substitute for Infinite Impermanence, which is Forbidden Chalice, by the way. You can play that, it's good. Now, there is one thing that critics have not been silent about, and it's about the Dark End Dragoon package. Is it Dark End Dragoon? I keep thinking it's Destiny End Dragoon, but maybe I just need to make a Destiny End Dragoon deck profile. And to be fair, it is pretty expensive, seeing that the entire engine cost $80. And now that I'm bringing up the Dragoon engine, here we are. Gokis. Will I use a Dragoon engine in Gokis? And if I don't, how will I be able to spin this into a competitive budget deck profile? Well, I can guarantee you that there is no Dragoon in this deck, even though you could play it. We're not going to. I'm gonna be giving you a competitive Goki deck profile that is still within a budget. The main goal of this particular Galaxy strategy is to set up multiple disruptions and also to play around hand traps. Cards like Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler are being played so much in this format, this deck actually finds ways to play around them. Starting off with the main board, the Goki monsters, you run quite a bit. 1 Re-Scorpio, 3 Goki Suprex. The Re-Scorpio is there just for another name, and it's a level 5 monster. It's the card you typically want to add with Isol. And then Suprex is your main starter. If you open this in a Goki, you have full combo plus an additional Goki card. 2 Twist Cobra, we only run it because it has Goki in its name and is a different level. 3 Headbat, this card is one of the most important Goki monsters because it can special summon itself to the side of the field. To be honest, if Goki had an additional extender, this deck would just be pretty much unstoppable. And then Iron Claw, we play it because it's a different name and, you know, a Goki monster that searches. Next, for the level 1 Goki monsters, these are just as important as the starters and extenders. Just 2 copies of Goki Guts and an Octo Stretch. As you can see, I have not went over any of the Goki card effects because outside of Suprex and Headbat, they're not important. The only thing that matters is when they are sent from the field to the graveyard, they search another Goki card. The premise of this deck is on your route to making your Link plays, you load up the graveyard with Goki monsters so you can make an Apollousa, and then from there you start going through with warrior combos. That's it for the Goki monsters. It's actually 14 because of reinforcement of the army, which gives us about an 87% chance that we will draw 2. Pretty good for us. 1 copy of Code Breaker 0 Day. This card is important and I'll show you in the combo sequence. I love it because it's a level 4 monster that comes up. And then for our extender monsters, we run 3 copies of Red Layer and 3 copies of Fire Flint Lady. I think that Red Layer is the most expensive card in the main board, and I know it comes in common as well, meaning that it's not really that expensive. I'm also pretty positive that Super Quantum Red Layer is also getting another reprint, so it's gonna be even easier to get, meaning that this deck I think is actually under $100. We run Super Quantum Red Layer and Fire Flint Lady as well as Infernal Knight Oliver for one reason. They are all Fire Warrior extenders, meaning that they're searchable by Durandal, a card that acts as an Isol target, as well as a reinforcement of the army for our extenders. And then Oliver's pretty busted. If you open up with Oliver, he's a great extender because you can send these 2 cards to the graveyard to obviously extend, but also you can send your Divine Sword Phoenix Blade to summon him to your side of the field. We don't care that he's a tuner, we care that he extends. He's also level 4, but that doesn't come up since he uses the fact you special summon him, he's a 1. Moving on, we do play a Phantom Knights engine with 1 copy of Boots and Ancient Cloak, and then we also play the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. There are players that have complained about no Red Eyes Dragoon. If you want to play Dark Dragoon though, consider dropping your Dragon Buster and Oliver and maybe one of the spell cards to be able to fit the package in. It's not a bad package at all, but it does require a lot of your extra deck. From there, I play 6 additional hand traps. I'm not gonna make the same mistake of playing Infinite Impermanence without giving you budget options. 3 copies of Effect Veiler is going to be our main source of negation. Swordsman, and 3 copies. Oh man, this card is nutty. So again, like we stated before, the biggest cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game right now are Effect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence, and Sauravis completely protect your combo. We run multiple ways to protect our E-Soul because it's the most important card from Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler, but even if our opponent does stop it, we can still extend past that. That is it for the hand traps. The spells consist of 2 copies of Gouki Rematch. I really wanted to play 3 copies of this card, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. 1 Infernal Arms Durandal. This card is an amazing extender as well as an equipped spell card to send with E-Soul, Living Fossil, and 1 copy of Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. Moving forward, Reinforcement of the Army, Called by the Grave, Monster Reborn, 1 for 1, 2 Fog Blades, and the Shade Brigandine is going to make up the spells. And now on to the extra deck. I'm gonna breeze through this one really quick. It is a 15.5 card extra deck, meaning that I do give you some other options depending on how your meta is or what exactly do you want. 1 Avermax, 1 Boral Sword Dragon, and 1 Apollousa, the Bow of the Goddess. Of course, if you guys can afford Access Code Talker, you can run it in place of any of these guys. 1 copy of Draco Masters of the Tenye. This card is bananas. It's actually the reason why we can extend Passive Effect Veiler and Infinite Impermanence. 1 Code Breaker Virus Berserker, 1 Phantom Knights Rusty Bardish, Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Virus Swordsman, 2 copies of E-Soul, 1 Union Carrier, 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, and 1 IP Masquerena. Now, the option card that you guys have is a rank 4 of your choice. You can play Abyss Dweller or Time Thief Redoer. Redoer gives you the ability to trigger off your Phantom Knights Rusty Bardish, but Abyss Dweller is a shutdown rank 4 card, and then Redoer actually has the opportunity to bounce and banish and do all those cool things. It really depends on what you want to play, but now I get to show you guys some saucy combos I know you'll love. So moving on to the combo, basically what I did is just took the Dragoon combo, the combo that normally ends on Dragoon, and made an entirely different busted combo with it. Basically, what you're going to need is any Gouki monster you can summon to your side of the field and any warrior extender, and you're going to be able to go full combo, meaning the rest of your cards in your hand can be hand traps, they can be cards to stop your opponent from stopping you, they can be whatever. You can essentially even get 2 cards back into your hand, meaning that if you started off, you'll end up with a 5-card hand as well as a full board, which is really strong. First thing you're going to do is normal summon your Gouki monster, and then special summon Fire Flint Lady. For this particular sequence, I did have Twist Cobra, so I'll use Fire Flint Lady and the Twist Cobra for E-Soul 2 Tales of the Noble Knight. Now, here is where you're technically most vulnerable. There are ways around this, but E-Soul is going to be Chainlink 2 and Twist Cobra is going to be Chainlink 1. With the effect of Twist Cobra, you are going to add Headbat, and with the effect of E-Soul, you add a Gouki monster that was not, I repeat, that you do not plan on summoning to your side of the field. Using E-Soul's effect to send Divine Sword Phoenix Blade to special summon Gouki Guts, and because I have a Gouki monster, I'll discard the Re-Scorpio to special summon Headbat. Now, in the Dragoon combo, you would normally use Gouki Guts for Link Kribo, but since we don't play the Dragoon engine, we'll just link off all 3 of these monsters into an Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess. Trigger both the Headbat and the Gouki Guts effect to be able to add a Gouki Rematch from your deck to your hand and any other Gouki card. The other card literally does not matter. From here, use Gouki Rematch to special summon 2 Gouki monsters with different levels, and then link both of those monsters off into Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Virus Swordsman will special summon Codebreaker 0 Day, and 0 Day and Virus Swordsman can be used for another link summon into Codebreaker Virus Berserker, which will special summon back your Codebreaker 0 Day and your Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Now, the really sucky thing about 0 Day is that it's currently ruining our Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess's attack, but that can be easily remedied. We're gonna go ahead and link off the Virus Swordsman and the 0 Day. Typically, you link off the Virus Swordsman and the Virus Berserker, but this build doesn't really care. We'll go into our Phantom Knights Rusty Bard. Now that our Apollousa is back to that healthy 3 negations, we'll use the effect of our Phantom Knights Rusty Bardish to be able to send a Phantom Knights Ancient Cloak from our deck to the graveyard to be able to set a Phantom Knights Fog Blade, and now our Ancient Cloak will banish itself to be able to add a Phantom Knights Silent Boots. Silent Boots can special summon itself because we do control Rusty Bardish, and both of these monsters will be used for a link into Union Carrier. Union Carrier targeting the Rusty Bardish will equip the Destruction Sword, and now the effect of Silent Boots can add your second Fog Blade, and that is what with 2 cards we can banish these 2 monsters. It does not matter. with 2 cards, we pretty much got our 2 cards back. We got a Gouki Super X or a Gouki Rematch, whatever you want it to be, and a Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, but we also have 5 monster disruptions through the effects of Phantom Knight's Fog Blades and Apollousa Bow of the Goddess, and we also have a card that says our opponent can't play in the extra deck. So that's a pretty strong 2-card combo, especially considering that you still have 5 cards left in your hand. So a lot of players think that this deck's main weakness is just Effect Veiling the E-Soul. This deck completely loses to E-Soul, and I'm telling you, you couldn't be more wrong. If we have 3 Warrior Extenders, which is really easy for this deck to do, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. The deck actually can still be able to plop off. Let's go ahead and start off by special summon that Super Quantum Wet Layer, normal summoning the Gouki Super X to special summon the Octostretch. For our opponent, Effect Veilers the Gouki Super X. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this is still full combo, so I don't know what our opponent is doing. From here, we'll go ahead and link off both of these monsters right into our E-Soul, and we'll use both effects of Octostretch and Super X to be able to add, and our opponent will generously Effect Veiler or E-Soul to Tails of the Noble Knight, which would stop off our normal combo, which, unfortunate for them, it's still a pretty big combo for us with a lot of options. We can use the E-Soul and the Super Quantum into Draco, Masters of the Tenye, and then we can follow up by activating our Gouki Rematch. Gouki Rematch will special summon 2 Gouki monsters to our side of the field, immediately linking them off for our Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, which will allow us to special summon our Zero Day. Now, both of those monsters will be used for a link into our Codebreaker Virus Berserker, which will special summon our monsters back to the side of the field. So right here, we could go into a 4 Disruption Apollousa Bow of the Goddess, but you should already know that's not where we're going to stop. We're going to go ahead and link all both of these monsters into our Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish. Actually, Philetus should be right here to give you an additional zone. And that actually just feels much better. And then there are so many options from here. What you can do is send a Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak to be able to set to our side of the field our first Fog Blade. This is in our hand. It's pretty much, that was from the other search. It doesn't even matter. To be able to search or set our Fog Blade, and then we can activate the Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak to be able to add from our decks to our hand that Phantom Knight's Silent Boots, which can be special summoned, used for a link into our Union Carrier, and this would pretty much be our end board. So we wouldn't have that multiple negation Apollousa, but our opponent still wouldn't be able to special summon the extra deck, and we'd have 2 Phantom Knight's Fog Blades. So we'd pretty much be able to accomplish the same goal, but still rewinding back. Let's say that, where is our board? This is our board currently, is it not? We can also send the Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak to the graveyard to be able to set a Shade Brigadine, and then our Ancient Cloak can be banished to add and special summon our Phantom Knight's Boots. And this right here is a 4 negation Apollousa with a Fog Blade set, so that's a pretty cool combo. Or the last thing that we can do is go ahead and use both of these monsters for an Exceed summon into our Time Thief Redoer, which could destroy a card if it were pointed to our Rusty Bardish, and then these 2 monsters will follow up for a Link summon. You can either go into your Union Carrier, which can equip a Buster Whelp to our Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish, or you can go ahead and go for Apollousa Bow of the Goddess. So there's almost no way our opponent is escaping, as we're going to be able to still make a combo if we have enough Warrior Extenders, which could be still game no matter what our opponent does. Now, our 3 Warrior Extenders, including 1 Gouki monster, isn't just some contingency plan. It's actually full combo in its own. In this particular sequence, I'm going to use Fire Flint Lady, Super Quantum Red Layer, and Gouki Iron Claw just to signify how powerful just 2 Extender Warrior monsters plus a Gouki is to this deck. So the first thing I'm obviously going to do is special summon Super Quantum Red Layer. We'll use that card way later in our combo sequence. And then, actually, no. We can just special summon the Super Quantum Red Layer and normal summon the Gouki Iron Claw. What am I thinking? I can just go ahead and use both of these monsters for a Link summon to scout my opponent. I'm going to go ahead and make E-Soul 2 Tails of the Noble Knights. With E-Soul, we'll get the Re-Scorpio, and with Iron Claw, we'll get the Headbat. We'll also send our Divine Sword to be able to special summon our level 1 Gouki Guts, and then we'll use Headbat's effect, discarding the Re-Scorpio to be able to special summon itself, using all 4 of these for an Apollousa Bow of the Goddess. So this is pretty standard for any combo that you've seen. But now we'll be able to add from our decks to our hand a Goki Rematch and another free card, so Suprex. And now Rematch will activate its effect. We'll special summon those two Goki monsters, and then we'll link them both off.
Basically the exact same combo. Special summon that Virus Swordsman, Codebreaker, then link these two off, which will eventually end up right here because we'll just special summon our Virus Berserker, which will special summon these guys back to our side of the field.
Both of these monsters into a link for our Phantom Knights Rusty Bardish. But now here is where the combo differentiates. We will use our Rusty Bardish to send our Phantom Knights Ancient Cloak to the graveyard, and then we'll set to our side of the field our Phantom Knight Shade Brigandine. I'll go ahead and activate that Shade Brigandine, special summon it to my side of the field, use both the 0 Day and the Shade Brigandine into a Exceed summon into our Time Thief Redoer. If it is right where our Rusty Bardish points to, we can destroy a card, but that is a disruption in its own. I'm pretty sure I said that completely wrong because the Phantom Knights Rusty Bardish sets the Shade Brigandine by sending the Ancient Cloak, and the Ancient Cloak banishes itself to add the Silent Boots. My apologies. Next, I will special summon that Silent Boots to my side of the field, and because I control a warrior monster, I'll special summon Fire Flint Lady, use both of these monsters into a Union Carrier. Carrier will be able to equip a Destruction Sword, and we will banish our Phantom Knight Silent Boots to be able to add and set our Fog Blade. So this is the extended extra deck board. We're going to have a 3-Naked Apollousa, a Phantom Knight's Fog Blade, a Disruption through Time Thief Redoer or Abyss Dweller, and we're going to have our Destruction Sword, as well as we can still have 2 cards in our hand by banishing YouTube Pad Puppies. We're going to start off pretty strong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you guys enjoyed the Goki deck profile. It was really fun to do. If you did, go ahead and destroy that like button, but also be sure to check out these other videos. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one.